All right, let's get into the absolute chaos that is the smartphone world right now. In just the past few weeks, we've seen phones literally, and I mean literally, burst into flames. We've seen a whole new lineup of devices with batteries so huge they feel like they'll never die. And strangest of all, we've seen phones made out of actual jeans. So here's our explainer on the wild, weird, and surprisingly powerful new direction that our phones are taking.
So here's how we're going to break it all down today. First, we'll look at some spectacular design failures and how they're actually pushing the industry forward. That leads us right into a new generation of superpowered phones. Then, get ready for a trip down memory lane as some old brands make a comeback. And we'll get into some truly bizarre new designs before finally looking at how our gadgets are becoming a huge part of our identity.
Okay, first up, the drama. Some of the biggest companies in tech went all in on ideas that, looked amazing in a marketing presentation but completely fell apart in the real world. And now they're being forced to rethink everything.
I mean, that's a question you hope you never, ever have to ask for real, right? But for one of the most well-known tech reviewers out there, this wasn't hypothetical. It was a shocking reality that raised some serious questions about a brand new, very expensive folding phone.
Yep, that's what happened during a durability test of the Google Pixel Fold. The phone just ignited when it was bent backwards, and when he took it apart, the teardown showed this critical design flaw near the antenna lines. It's a weak spot that Google has apparently used for 3 generations now, and it creates this risk of, catastrophic failure.
And that one incident really points to a much bigger problem. The whole trend of making phones as thin as humanly possible, it seems to be totally backfiring. We're hearing that both Samsung's new S25 Edge and Apple's iPhone Air are seeing terrible sales. It really suggests that customers are just done. They're no longer willing to trade battery life and durability just to have a slightly slimmer phone.
So if people are saying no thanks to these fragile, skinny phones, then what do they want instead? Well, the market is answering, and it's answering loud and clear. They want raw, unapologetic power and batteries that feel like they could last forever. Just look at this number, 7,500 milliamp hours. That's the battery inside Oppo's new Find X9 series. To give you some context, your typical flagship phone, like an iPhone or a Galaxy, has around 5,000. This isn't just a small step up, it's a massive leap that shows a complete change in priorities.
And Honor is right on their heels. Their new Magic 8 series is packing a huge 7,200 milliamp hour battery. The message these companies are sending is simple. We hear you. You want a phone that actually lasts through the day, and then some.
And this chart really tells the story. The new arms race has nothing to do with being the thinnest anymore. It's all about raw power. You've got Red Magic literally putting internal water cooling in a phone for hardcore gaming. And then you have Oppo and Honor pairing those enormous batteries with the absolute latest top-of-the-line processors. It's all about performance and endurance now. They're the new kings.
Now, what's really interesting is that this new focus on power and just making a solid, durable phone seems to be cracking the market wide open. Open enough for some very familiar names, ones we all thought were long gone, to maybe stage a comeback.
That's right. We're actually seeing signs of life from brands that used to be giants. We're talking about HTC, Sony, and even the ridiculously high-end luxury brand Virtue. They're all kind of creeping back out of the shadows.
The biggest shocker here was HTC. For years now, they've only sold phones in their home market of Taiwan. Then, out of nowhere, they show up at this huge tech event in Dubai with a new gaming phone. It's a huge signal that they might be thinking about going global again, although their choice of a pretty obscure Unisoc chip is, it's a bit of a head-scratcher.
And then you have Virtue, which honestly feels like a brand from a totally different dimension. They're bringing back this wild business model where you pay thousands of dollars not for the phone's hardware, but for a dedicated real-life human agent who is on call for you 24/7. It's a phone that sells elite service, not processing power. So beyond these old brands coming back, we're also seeing companies just push the absolute limits of what a phone is even supposed to be. And it's leading to some of the most bizarre, but also kind of cool, concepts we have seen in a long, long time. First up, get this. Honor announced something they're calling the Robot Phone. It has a motorized gimbal. Think of it like a tiny built-in robotic arm that automatically keeps your videos perfectly steady. Can even track a person for you. It's just a wild, wild piece of engineering to stick on the back of a phone.
But if you think that's strange, hold on. Because not to be outdone, Realme just showed off a new phone with a back panel made from actual denim fabric. Yes, jeans. Your phone is made of jeans now.
And this is where we end up. We're suddenly asking these questions that sound completely absurd. It's a fun idea for sure, but man, does it blur the line between being a piece of technology and being an article of clothing in a way we've just never seen before.
And this whole blurring of lines thing, it's happening everywhere. Our tech isn't just a tool we carry around anywhere. It's actively merging with fashion, with gaming, with our entire culture.
You can see it all over the place. Razer just put out this beautiful line of phantom white see-through keyboards and mice that are as much about how they look as how they perform. And at the same time, you have Reebok teaming up with PlayStation for its 30th anniversary to release sneakers inspired by the classic console.
So when you boil it all down, what our technology looks like is becoming just as important as what it can do. Our phones, our keyboards, our headphones, they're all turning into fashion statements. They're extensions of our personal brand.
So from phones that can explode to phones made out of jeans, it's pretty clear the industry is at this massive turning point. And as we all move forward, the real question becomes this: are we choosing our technology for what it does or for the story it tells about us?